Hey everybody, it's Savvy Tech Girl. We are here for our Saturday morning show, and today we're going to learn a little bit about electricity. We're going to look at what a battery is, so exactly what a battery does, and we're going to look at some tools that we would use when we're doing some basic computer stuff. So here I have a multimeter. So we're going to look at multimeters. I'm going to show you exactly what they do. They look a little bit complicated. There's lots of stuff on there. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to show you exactly what we can do with a multimeter. And we've got some wire here. Right, we're going to show you what you can do with wire and how you can use it in some little projects. Got some nails. Nails come in handy for a lot of things. And last but not least, I have oranges. So we're going to give these oranges a nice squish, squish, squish. I'm not going to eat them after. Just because I'm poking things in them and doing all that crazy stuff. So I'm not going to eat them after, although they smell delicious. So how is everybody? How is your week? Hope everybody had a fantastic week. I hope you were busy doing some computer things. Maybe you're playing on your iPad. Maybe you're playing some Minecraft. I'm going to wait a little bit, see if we can get some people in. I know that there are a few people that wanted to jump in today. So I'll give them a couple of minutes to get here live, and then after a couple of minutes, we're going to get going on the project. So I want to start off by showing you guys something as far as computers go. And these are my favorite little computers here. This, everybody, is just like your laptop, your desktop computer. Hey, Alan, how's it going? We're just going to do some basic electronics today. I do have a Raspberry Pi here that I'm talking about right now, but we're going to do some basic electronics, learn how we can get some voltage, some power out of some citrus fruit. It could be any citrus fruit, as long as there's an acid in there. So Raspberry Pis, these can do everything that your big PC does. It's absolutely amazing that in today's day and age, we're able to have such a small computer at such a low price, and it can run Windows, it can run Linux, it can run everything. So I don't know how many people have used them. I've made a couple of videos on them. A lot more videos will be coming your way. We've got 3 people. Hey, everybody. Can you please just type your name so I know who's in here? That would be fantastic. As I go along, let's send some questions in. If you have any questions at all, we're going to talk about basic electronics today. And I hope that you guys understand as I go along what I am talking about. But if you don't, please just ask. So if you could put your names in so I know who's here, that would be a lot of help. As you can see on these Raspberry Pis, let me just get something to point with here. Use this pencil. We have these little heat sinks here. So you can see, let me just turn it sideways. See, there's little metal lines, right? There's nothing in between them. Okay, that's called a heat sink. So that's actually on the processor on the board. All right, and that's like almost like a radiator in a car. It allows the air to go through. So we're not using a fan. There's no fan. You can use a fan. You can put a fan inside a box in a Raspberry Pi. If you're going to be using it for something, you could put lots of these together and make a supercomputer. So you could do that. But this is just simply going to let air go through. And as you're using the device, it'll just cool down the processor. You can do on a Raspberry Pi what they call overclocking. So overclocking means that if you have a 1 gigahertz processor, you can actually get more power out of it than 1 gigabyte. that is going to heat up the device a lot quicker than if you're just using it without overclocking. Hey, Alan. So Alan's the only one that's telling me who's here, so that's fine. I guess everybody else wants to stay a mystery. That's okay. So these are heat sinks. You'll see them on regular computers. Obviously, they're going to be a lot bigger. And on a regular computer, you do have fans because you want to make sure that air keeps circulating inside the system to cool everything down. I went to a service call the other day for somebody that has a stereo system, an amplifier, and it kept shutting off. She would turn it on, it would work for 5 minutes, and then it was shut down. So the first thing that told me was it's overheating. And immediately what I did is I took the top off of it. It was covered in dust, but the fan wasn't running. So it was covered in dust, which meant as soon as she turned it on, that heat started to generate and it just got too hot. And as a safety, it shuts them off so you don't get into any fire issues or anything. So that's what those are. They're just called heat sinks, okay? So great little computer. Like I say, I talk about them all the time. You've got HDMI ports. You've got the 3.5 millimeter for audio. You've got a micro USB. You've got a camera. You've got a display port here if you want to put a little LCD into it. So lots of great stuff you can do with these. Okay, so let's get started on some basic electronics. All right, so if you're going to be doing a project, any type of project with electronics, you're going to need some basic items. So we always need wire. Okay, so if you're going to do a project, first thing you're going to need to make sure is you got some wire kicking around. Doesn't matter what color the wire is. You're going to see black wire, you're going to see red wire, green wire, white wire. It doesn't matter, okay? Obviously, when you are out in what we call the field doing work, you want to make sure that you're using the correct color wire for your application. So if I go out in the field and I look at something that's wired, I immediately look at a white wire, know what it's for. I immediately look at a green wire and know what it's for. So when you're in a field, when you're doing a job, don't mess around with the colors. However, when you're at home building a project, these wires can be any color you want, as long as you know what you're using that wire for. Okay, when we look at a battery has something that we call a positive end and a negative end. All right. So in anything, when we talk about electronics, there's always plus and minus, positive and negative. Without positive and negative, nothing connected, nothing is going to work. So if you're working with something and you have the plus wire plugged in, and you do have the minus wire, I'll just show you a black one here, just so you know the difference. So this, let's say this is our negative wire, but maybe it's a loose connection. That will stop whatever the thing or the device is from working, okay? So you've got two wires here. One is going to go on our plus end, and one is going to go on our minus end. Now, if I put a multimeter on that, I'll be able to read what the voltage is, and we'll look at a multimeter in a second. So there's always going to be a plus, and there's always going to be a minus when we're talking about electronics, or anything you're wiring, even in your computers, everywhere you go. Oh, Alan, you still haven't touched your Raspberry Pi. Come on, you got to put something together. Load Windows 10 on it. Put Windows 10 on. Just go to the Raspberry Pi website, download the image, put Windows 10 on, and then tell me how it goes. You'll love it. Start with that, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got some wires here. The other thing I have here are some clips. And the reason I have clips is it's just going to be easier for me to show you when I do a couple of little experiments here, okay? So I got a clip here. So I've got a white wire, just so we can see the difference. And then I have a black wire. Okay, so we'll use the black as a negative and we'll use the white as a positive. Now, so we know I have wire, and I have nails. So these nails are just going to be for me to connect to. And they're metal, right? They're copper. These ones are actually copper, so they're going to conduct. So if they were plastic, that wouldn't work. So you need to make sure that you have something that conducts, which is, these are copper. They don't have to be copper, but you could just use this and we're going to connect to it. Okay. And then we have an orange. So I am going to replace the battery. We're going to turn this battery in, this orange, into a battery. So if you take an orange, just for example, I'm going to show you a multimeter first. This is a multimeter, okay? Well, don't wait for it, Alan. Put retro gaming on it. Come on, put retro gaming on it and send me updates. Send me some pictures. Show me how it's going as you're installing it. SavyTechGirl@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing with it. Okay, so this is a multimeter. You've probably seen people, maybe you have, maybe you've had repair people come to your house, right? Maybe your TV broke, or maybe your stove broke, or maybe your furnace that heats the house broke. And all these technician people, all these repair people, they come in with these devices, and these are called multimeters, okay? So a multimeter can measure lots of different things, everything that we would need to find out what's wrong with a device. My dog's going to bark, I apologize. So we have voltage, we have AC, alternating current, and DC, direct current voltage on here. Then when we move the dial, okay, it's going to change decimal places for us. Okay, so we can check up to, we can do 2000 millivolts, we can do 20 volts, we can do 200 volts, 1000 volts. Now we're getting dangerous. I never want you guys to do anything like that. We're always going to stay well below 20 volts. Today we're only going to be using 1 volt. Okay, and then we have DC, we have amperage, we have ohms. So we have all different things that we can use a multimeter for. A lot of people get confused with them. A lot of people don't understand how to use them. And yes, Alan, tweet them. That would be fantastic. I want to see it this week. I'm excited to see your retro gaming. And then maybe I'll have you on the show and you can show everybody how it's done. Perfect. Okay, so multimeter, here it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to 20 volts because I'm going to just check this battery. And I want to see how many volts are in this battery. Okay, so I'm going to put my meter down for a minute. I know it's kind of hard. I can't really hold that up at the same time. And I am going to put my positive lead, which is red this time. Positive is red. Okay, I'm going to put it on the positive end. And I am going to put the negative on the negative end of the battery. I'm going to try and do this with one hand. So I have them connected. Okay. And I have 1.19, 1.2 volts. Now, one of these batteries, brand new, is 1.5. So I've had this battery a little while, and it's 1.9 volts. Okay, so that's how you would check it. That's how you would check to see what the voltage is of a battery. So if you're using a remote control or something and it has like two batteries in it and it's all of a sudden it doesn't work, see if mom or dad has one of these and show them, I know how to do this. Okay, and you're going to put it to 20 volts, 20 volts. You can't hurt yourself, guys. It's very, very, very low voltage. Okay, so this is safe to do. Take your battery, and if you look at your battery, you're going to see a plus and a minus on it, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. If you did it backwards, you would see a negative 1.19, and I'll show you that in a second. Put your leads on, and you're good, okay? So if I reverse those now, and I put my negative, and my positive. Streaming Wend just sent me a text message. I wonder what she wants. I bet you she's not in the show. Maybe she is. I'm trying to do this. Okay, hang on. So I'm putting my negative on my positive on my negative. My fingers aren't working. Come on, come on. Okay. And there it is. It's negative. Okay, I've switched it around. Negative 1.19. So it's not going to break the meter. It's just going to put a minus sign to tell you you were backwards. Okay? All right, Streamin' Wend is messaging me saying, is everything okay? Maybe she wanted to be on the show. I'm going to text her. Telling her I'm in my show. See if she wants to join. Okay, so now we've got this orange. Believe it or not, this orange, because it has acid inside of it, and we're going to hit it a little bit. Doo-doo-doo. Right? Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. We're going to make this, and we're going to connect our meter to it. Okay? So guys, again, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat and we'll get them answered. All right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nail into one end because you need something metal, okay? That conducts. We call that a conductor, all right? And then in the other end, I will also put a nail. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that, or actually to make it easier, let me take the nails out. Make it easier, I'm going to do this because I got clips. So I'm going to take this white wire and stick it in there. Where it goes. I got orange juice all over me. And then I'm going to take this black wire, stick it in there. So just through the skin. And now, it doesn't matter which way I do it. I'm going to take the positive and the negative, and we should get some voltage. Although, let me put the nail in first. There we go. It prefers being on the nail. There. And there. So this will show you that. So I've got my orange here connected, and I'm seeing a negative 0.12. So there is some voltage. There's not a lot. There's only 0.12, but there is some voltage in this orange. Now let me try the other orange and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, Alan's saying he knows the zest test with oranges and lemons, etc. But this is for the kids, Alan. Okay, so let me try another orange. I just want to see, would there be a difference? And do you think there will? Oh, let me try. That's a pretty big orange. Let's try this one. Take this end. And what do we have? Same thing. Okay, negative 1.3 this time. So you can see that these oranges actually they produce a little bit of power. So I'm squeezing it and you can see the difference. It's going down and up and down and up. The reason for it is there's acid, okay, which makes it conduct, and therefore you get some voltage out of it. So if I were to put these together, I'm going to take one to another, okay? So now I've got this, so I've got two oranges, And then let me put my other one in the other end here. And do it this way. And then we should get more voltage. Do you think we will get more voltage? Got that one to there. We got that one to there. We got that one to there. Now we're up to 0.7 because I've got two oranges together. I've got a white going in one end. Oh, I just disconnected it. Okay, so the white goes in. We've got black coming out one end, white going out the other, and that gives us more voltage. All right, so we've got 0.78 now. Okay, so you can see that just from two oranges, we get voltage. And like I said, the reason for that is the acid, which is a conductor on the inside. Now, going back to the battery, wherever I put my trusty battery here, sometimes, I don't know where I put it, I lost it. Sometimes when you're working with batteries, there's more than one battery, right? You see two batteries, sometimes you see three batteries. And the reason for that would be that you can actually add those voltages together, right? So let me draw that out for anybody that doesn't understand that. Okay, so you guys can see my piece of paper. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're talking about voltages and electricity, okay? So if I have a battery, let me just draw it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. That's a battery, right? See that? Yes, that's a battery. So this battery is 1.5 volts. So we just went to the store and we just bought a battery. It's 1.5 volts. Okay. And it's got a plus and it's got a minus. Wish I could use my pen. All right. I might be able to use my pen. Let me try something here, my friends. Let me give something a try. It might work. It just might work. Yeah, we're just talking about some basic electronics, and I'm trying to get my whiteboard connected, but maybe it's not plugged in on the other end. Bear with me for 2 seconds, guys. Let's see here. Let's try this. Be nice to... No, I don't think it's going to work. I'll keep drawing on this. Okay, so there I have my battery, right? 1.5 volts. Now, your remote control at home for your TV, sometimes it takes 4, depending. Right, so this is 1.5 volts. I'm just going to draw a couple. Okay, and that's 1.5 volts. All right, so now I've got 3. And I need those 3 for my TV remote, or maybe I need it for a clock or something, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to connect the plus to the plus, the plus to the plus, the minus to the minus, and the minus to the minus. And when we put our meter right here, okay, there, you can see that? Maybe you can't see it. Can't really see it very well, but when we put our meter on, we've got 1, 2, 3, right? Sometimes 2 AA batteries, yeah. So if we connect these together, each one is 1.5 volts. So as you can see, the more we connect together, the more voltage we're going to get. So we've got 1.5, now we add another 1.5, and we've got 3 volts. Now we add another 1.5, and we have 4 volts. So depending on the device that you're using, if it only needs 1.5 volts to run, it's only going to need 1 battery. If it needs 3 volts to run, it's going to need 2 batteries. If it needs 4 volts to run, 4.5, it's going to need 3 batteries, and so on. Okay, we also have the square batteries. They're 9-volt batteries. So depending on what the item needs is what batteries and how many you're going to need to put in. Sometimes with a mouse, I've got a mouse over here. Try this, guys. Sometimes a mouse, it's got a slot for 2 batteries. Okay, so this mouse has 2 batteries. Chances are it'll run on 1. I have run for years. My wireless mouse, I've only had 1 battery of them when they take 2. And they run on 1 battery. Does it last as long? No. But it only needs 1.5 volts, or it probably needs 1.2 volts. Once it gets below 1.2 volts, it's not going to work. If you've got 2 in there, now you've got 3 volts, and you've got time to, it'll last for months, because once it drops down, it just uses the other battery, right? So now you're using 3 volts. Now you're down to 2.8, 2.7, 2.6. If you got 1, you're at 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. Oh, it's not going to work anymore. But it will work off of 1 battery, because that's all the power that that device needs in order to work. So I just wanted to explain how the basics of electricity work. It is very complicated, but to be able to see that you can take an orange, right? Someday you can use lemons, anything citrus, right? So anything that has citrus in it. And you can use this, and you can use it as a battery. So if you had enough and you put them all together, put a piece of metal or wire from here to the next one, and there to the next one, there to the next one, and you're going to string them together, you're going to create more voltage. So you can even put all those together and take a couple of wires and connect it to your remote control, and you can run your remote control off of oranges. Okay, and that's for real, you honestly could. So anything that you can create voltage from, then you would be able to run it off of. So yeah. All right, so I just sort of wanted to explain that to everybody. Now it's already 25 after 10. The show has gone very quickly. I don't want to make it much longer than that, because it is a little bit complicated. But please, guys, kids, if you have any questions, let me know. And you know what? I want you to do that with your parents. I want you to take an orange, take 2 oranges. Okay, we're going to put a nail in one end. Right? And then you can take your wire and stick it in the other end. Right? You can even put a nail in the other end too, right beside the wire. Okay, and then take a multimeter. Take one of these guys. Connect it. Okay, and then see what voltage you get. And then take a battery, which I've lost my battery. I honestly don't know where it went. Take a multimeter and put it on there and see what happens, okay? Fun little project. You cannot get hurt. Make sure you do it with your mom and dad. Then you can see that a piece of fruit creates energy, right? There's acid in it, so it creates, works like a battery. So I hope you guys understood that. As like I say, it can be a little bit hard to explain. And you know what? We've got these wires all over the place, and we've got these clips, but that's all you need. Get a couple of pieces of wire. You don't have to have these clips. If you have them, that's great. If you don't, maybe paper clips or something metal that will work. And then you can just stick the ends into the lemon or the orange, and yeah, and you'll be all set. Okay, so that helps you understand batteries, And like I say, when you put batteries together, you get more voltage. So 1.5, and then you put another one, you're at 3. You put another one, you're at 4.5. So that's the basics of electricity and the basics of pretty much everything you have runs off of a battery. Now you can understand why. Rechargeable batteries do exactly that. They recharge, bring it back to its state of 1.5 volts, okay? How they work is very complicated, but that's exactly what happens when you recharge. All right, guys. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. Again, these are only 30-minute shows. I don't want to overwhelm anybody. Please, if you have any questions, contact me, savytechgirl@gmail.com. Send me a tweet at savytechgirl. I'm on Periscope once or twice a week. So if you get a chance, download the Periscope app, and I'd love to see you on there. Facebook.com/SavyTechGirl, and obviously my website, SavyTechGirl.com. So thank you again, everybody. Next week, I'm going to again do something fun for everyone. If you have any suggestions, let me know. We can talk about robots. We can maybe do a couple of parts series. Maybe we can build a robot using a Raspberry Pi or something like that. So again, thanks a lot. Shout out to everybody that joined us live. And if you didn't and you watched it after, thank you very much. Thumbs up, please. Share if you can. And I would be happy to answer any questions. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Sophia. It's great for you guys to stop by, and everybody else that jumped in today. I really appreciate your support. Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got another live show coming with Streaming Wend, so we will see you there. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.